When we look at the effects of a quota as far as efficiency goes, the two things that we're looking at are triangles A and B. B is easy, that's the loss of consumer surplus, and of course it's caused by price increasing from P world to P quota, which correlates to decrease in quantity from Q world to Q quota. Um, the more difficult one is to explain triangle A. You might see, depending on the book that you use, you might see triangle A drawn here. Note that geometrically they would be the exact same triangle, as S2 is parallel to S1 and the base is the same as because it's SW. But the harder part to explain about this relates back to the law of supply. And we have to really stress to the students, well, the law of supply says that to be able to produce more, I require more money. And that's part of what the basis of the idea of comparative advantage is, with the idea that being cheaper means that you're being more efficient. So when we look at the quota, which is shown here in yellow in the highlighting, what we understand is that that level PW, and we can call that like $5 or something like that. That number is cheaper than what the supply curve is, the domestic supply curve S1, which shifts over to S2. It's cheaper than what they're able to do. So when we start to look at this point here, where the world supply curve, where the world supply curve stops producing and S2 begins to produce again, what we're noticing is that as I move to the right, like this, that price keeps going up and up and up and up and up. But if I were to have stayed on the world supply curve, then I would have moved to the right like this, with the price lower at $5. So each of these blue little steps, you can think of it as kind of the cost of walking from, Q3 here. If I start walking from Q3 to Q quota, then each of these steps only costs $5 on this supply curve. But to walk to the right cost me 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11, then 12, etc., on the domestic supply curve S2. So that's our idea of why it's less efficient, because of that key idea there, that being cheaper is the same as being more efficient, and that's why we say comparative advantage is such a good thing. Hope this helps. Ask me any questions if you got them.